New at 11, high winds in some parts of Puget Sound are creating a serious risk for boaters. Today, Coast Guard crews and sheriff's deputies raced to help a man and his dog who were trapped in rough waters off the coast of Port Townsend. Tonight, Jeremy Harris spoke with a rescue swimmer who helped save the victim and the dog and picks up our team coverage. Jeremy.
Yeah, Chris, even on Christmas, these Coast Guard crews are ready to jump into action at a moment's notice. This morning around 7, they got a call from bystanders who said there was a sailboat in distress on the water, and video from the sheriff's office captured what happened next. The winds were thrashing along the shores of Puget Sound as first responders tried to help this boater who was in distress in rough waters near Port Townsend. The U.S. Coast Guard arrived at the scene.
Going into it, we heard a man was on a sailboat with his dog, ran aground.
And rescue swimmer Austin Welter jumped in.
It was pretty windy out there, gusting up to about 40 knots. Pretty choppy conditions with the waves. The boat was getting rocked pretty good.
With the help of Petty Officer Welter, Port Townsend Police and Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies first helped get the dog to safety. Then it took some convincing, but Welter helped the man jump in and go to shore.
He was pretty scared. He said his dog obviously did not like the water.
The high winds and an incoming storm are churning the water. And while the Coast Guard warns boaters to make sure they know the weather before venturing out, they're ready to help when needed.
It was good to know that our efforts were warranted and that he, made it back to shore safe. And, he gets to go home to his family with his dog and have a good Christmas.
And the Coast Guard says this is really a good example of how boaters can get into trouble, especially in these rough waters, very, very quickly. The National Weather Service, they put out weather advisories for the waters, and right now there is an advisory out for those small vessels, which can easily be overturned in these rough waters, and especially with those high winds coming in tomorrow, definitely a time for anybody going out on the water to be aware. Reporting live in Seattle, Jeremy Harris, KOMO News.